Hello everyone. Um, in today's tutorial, I'm going to be talking about conditional statement in JavaScript, and I made the first video on variables, data scopes, data types, and variable scopes, and JavaScript operators. Please, you can watch that because the comparison operators and the logical operator, they have much to say about the conditional statement. So if you notice here, I just created a folder conditional, and there is no file inside. So I create a file. I can call this app.js. Then now, conditional statement, life in general is based on conditions. If you want to come out today in the morning and to set out for work or whatsoever, and notice it's raining outside, it might determine your footwear, your outfit, and the time you are setting out and everything. So that's exactly what happens in programming. Most programs, most applications we build and ship out there or deploy, we're not there to guide our users on how to use that. So we try to use conditional statement to make it smooth, and to make it going, whereby to guide the users, so to speak, whereby if they are doing something that is wrong, let there be let there be a guide, a message guide on the right thing to do. So you would have, as a programmer, as a developer, written the code block in such a way that it checkmates what they are doing. Let's say a user is putting a wrong password, use an if statement. Let's say a user wants to register with an already existing email, you use an if statement. If the email exists, you say email exists on our platform. So you use those conditional, because you are not always there to be guiding the user. No, this email has already been used. So the program does that through conditional statement. So we're going to be looking at different types of conditionals that we have in programming. The first we'll talk about today is the if statement. So this is the if, and then we'll also talk about um, if else, and we'll also talk about if else if, and then else. Okay, so after this we talk about the switch statement. Then after the switch statement we talk about the ternary operator. Okay, so these are the three area of concern today. So the first one is the if statement. There is one thing I really want us to understand about if. Like there is I want to establish something about the if statement. Let's say, for example, we have const age to be equal to 20, and I say if age is greater than 18. Okay, and I have an expression here in line 9, something, an output, something that should be sent to the user, or a report or something, the body, so to speak. Now I want you to notice something. Age is greater than 0, is greater than 18, but here we are declaring age to be 20, and of course truly 20 is age is greater than 18. Like, it's true, right? Because in conditional statement, what the condition we are testing, or the expression here, is usually something that gives birth to either true or false. It's usually something that returns a boolean, so true or false. So if it is true, we have console.log you are of age, yeah. So if you notice, to run this now, we are getting you are of age. And just like I told us, everything happening within this highlighted space is true or false. How so? If I type true here, it's going to say you are of age, and mind you, the output here is whatsoever you want to return. So if I want to return hello world here, it will just say hello world. Whether hello world has to do with what we are testing or not, no, is what the programmer wants that comes out. Yeah, you say you are of age. Why? Because here is true. But if here is false, nothing will return. Let's say false now. The code dies. Let me clear the console. So notice it dies just like that, and it's even faint. It's not active. Why? Because when the expression here returns false, it will look out for an else statement. Else is like a fallback, a default program that comes when none of this is true. So, but because there is no else, it dies natural death. So let's do this now, and I have console.log of console.log. Let's say something like we are here. Okay, we are here. So you notice that we are here is active, so it's going to show. So by the time I run this, you say we are here. So just bear in mind that whenever you are testing a condition, whatsoever expression you are putting here should be a predicate. It should be something that returns true or false. So if it is true here, the first line of code will run. This will run. It will show on the terminal. But if it is false here, the alternate code will run. But when there is no else, it will just die like that. So let's still go back to here. Okay, so in this case, the first one is going to run because this is true. So when the two are fine, and the first one that is true will run. So that's how that works. You say you are of age. So that's the idea I really want you to grasp. It will help you in the journey of programming, and not this is not just a JavaScript thing. It cut across every programming language out there. So just notice that the if statement is checking if this is true or if something exists, if it has a value. So if it is true that what we are saying happens here, true here, this code, no matter what, whether the statement here has nothing to do with this, whether it is even abusive, it comes up. Then if it is false here, the next one comes. Okay, that's for if and if else. Then let's look at where we have if else if, in which case we are testing more than one condition. Okay, let me copy this out and have it here. Oh, sorry. Okay, copy this, and let's have something like this. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so let's have another condition. Let me say const age 2. I don't want to bother the other age. So let's say we have 15 here. I'll say if age 2 is if it is less than 7, if it is less than 19. Okay, let's say if it is less than 18, I'll say console.log you are a child. And then it's not just child. We have maybe a civil servant, a working class, then we have adults, or a retired fellow. So in which case we have more than one condition. So the next one will be else if then you put the condition. So let's say age 2 is less than let's say 65. Okay, so and we say console.log you are a civil servant. Civil servant. Then when none of this is false and this is false, it looks for else, and if there is no else, the whole program dies. Then if there is an else, the else becomes the returned value. So you can say you are retired. Yeah. So in this case, of course, 15 is less than this. So this, the first one that turns true. If this is true and this is true, the first one that turns true will run, the other ones will die. So in this case, it's going to say you are a child. Okay. Yeah, you are a child. But then let me change this a bit to, let's say 20, or let's say 30. Between 18, from 18 to 64 is going to be showing us a civil servant. Yeah, because it's going to be false for here and it's to be true for line 18. So it means the next code will run. Remember, the next code after a true T expression runs. So you are a civil servant. Then what if we put something like 66? So it means this is false and this too is false, because 66 is not less than 65. So this is false, this is false. So as a fallback, this comes into play. So you are retired. So that's how, when you have more than one conditions to showcase, you can use that. Okay, then let me also give you another example that you can use. So let's say greeting example. Let me use that greeting example, and then I want to use date time const t for time, and let's say new date, and then dot get hours. Get hours. First of all, I want to check what the time is holding. Console.log of t, in which case, sorry, I want to clear the terminal a bit. Okay, so it's holding 2. It's hour of 2:07 a.m. So this is when I'm making this video. So it's hour of 2. It gets the hours. So get hours. So I want to use this hours to format the greeting that you can give to someone. So let's say if a t, which is time, is less than 12, or less than or equal to, so within the 12, oh no, less than 12, yeah, hour of 12, so console.log is greeting someone good morning, and then let's say else if the time is less than, this uses 24 hours. So the 12 we are talking about is 12 noon. So we have 13 for 1, 14 for 2, 15 for 3. So 15. So if it is less than 15, you can say, or 16 for 4, we can say good console.log, you can say good afternoon, and then you can say else if let's say if 16 is 4, 17 is 5, 18 is 6, 19 is 7, 20 is 8. So if it is let's say 21, if t is less than 21, you can just be saying console.log, can say good evening. Then you can now have a fallback when it is not none of those. So you can say good night, probably between 21 to 23, and because the 24 is going to be 00, which is less than 12, it goes back to good morning. So you can say good night. So you can try running the code right now to see what that says. Yeah, good morning, because 2 is less than 12, so it goes till 12 in the noon before that changes to something else. So that's how we can have this. Then another one we talked about here is the switch statement. Yeah, the switch statement. I will do this. So the switch statement goes like cases. It's not a boolean. It goes like cases. It takes some cases to check if there is a match. Then if there is a match, the corresponding code to the match is being outputted. But if there is no match, it looks out for a default. So it's not really okay. The switch statement, sorry, uh, the switch statement checks an expression for a match. If there is a match, comma, the corresponding code is outputted if there is no match. The default is outputted. Okay, so let's quickly see how this works. I say it checks an expression, it doesn't take a condition. Let's be careful. This checks a condition if this is less than this, but this checks an expression. What we call expression in JavaScript, an expression is something that gives rise to a value. So is a code that gives birth to a value. Let me use birth, please. I don't know the next thing to use there. Well, it gives rise, or it returns a value. Like for example, now this is an expression. For example, 3 plus 3 plus 2, 3 plus 3, or 3 plus 2, because it's going to give us something. Or this is also an expression. 6 is a value, is an expression. Okay, it's either a value or it gives birth to a value. So let's also use the date time. Let's say const d to be equal to new date dot get day. Yeah, today is 29th, from 29th of January 2026. So let me, and getting the day, not date. So the day, today is Thursday, so it should be 4 something. So d is returning 4. So how this works is it ranges from 0 to be equal to Sunday through 6, which is equal to Saturday. That's usually how this works, 0 to Saturday. So we're going to be running the switch statement now. So I say switch, let me get this. So here we are putting the expression, which is d, and then this case, the first case is 0. So we're going to be putting an output, console.log. So of course the first day of the week is Sunday. We can say happy Sunday, and then the break is what makes this case. If this case does not match here, it will break out of this block and come into the next case. So this is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So then we now have a default. So after case 0, we have case 1, and then in this case we are going to have a Monday, and then case 2 we're going to be having Tuesday. We have case 3, we're going to be having Wednesday. So I'm going to having Thursday, and that's case 4, like today. Then we're going to have case 5, and then in the case 5 we have Friday, and then case 5, huh? Oh, sorry, see case 5 here. So I can say thank God. I told you you are the developer, so whatsoever you write is what I put. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. So for the Saturday we can say happy weekend or something like that. Happy weekend, it's Saturday. Okay, so now if none of these cases, sorry, this is 6, if none of this is the case, so this is like an else, which is a fallback. Else is usually like a fallback, say no match found, something like this. Okay, so if I run this, I'm going to say Thursday, yeah, because Thursday is 4, correspond to 4, yeah. So if I change this Thursday, which is 4, and put 7, and there is no such case here, we're going to say no match found, because there is no matching case there. So that's how switch statement works. So the next one I want to also talk about is the ternary operator, the last but not the least. Okay, the ternary operator has a particular syntax. I want you to be very careful to grasp the syntax. Now one might be wondering, what's syntax? Is the rule, the principle of a program. Okay, so in the ternary, you say let's say we have a conditional statement in a bracket. So this is code if true, and then code if false. So if this condition is true, whatever code that is here will run. If this condition is false, whatever code here is run. Ternary is a tripartite, like three expressional code, 1, 2, and 3. So now let's take an example to justify our claims. Now let's say const let me use age 3. I don't want to reference the age over there. Let's say we have let's say 16 or 17, and I say the age 3, if the age 3 is greater than okay, is less than let me use 20. Yeah, so if it is greater than or equal to 18, that's from 18 and above, so we'll now say console.log adult. Then else we now say console.log say baby. Sorry, if you are less than that, let me say use young, so that I won't offend some set of people, some group. Yeah, okay. Now because this is true, that 20 is greater than this, is going to say adult. Watch this, adult. Now let me put 2, and its false here is going to say young. Yeah, so that's how ternary operator works. Thank you.